An airplane overloaded with heavy bags of cocaine crashed as it took off from a clandestine airstrip on a South Pacific island this week, revealing an Italian Mafia syndicate based in Australia. The mob reporter here with a crazy story of a mystery plane, a terribly inconvenient crash, and a desperate attempt to hide a half-ton of cocaine in the jungle. This audacious story starts when a twin-engine Cessna departed a small town in Australia called Mareeba on July 26, 2020. That was Sunday morning. Its destination? Papua New Guinea, an island in the South Pacific north of Australia. The country is known as the most rural state in the world and has dense rainforests and active volcanoes. It was a suspicious flight from the start. It illegally flew below 3,000 feet to avoid radar detection as it crossed the ocean on a flight that would normally take about an hour and a half. Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, the country's police force, said the pilot was helped by several islanders to fill the plane with bags of cocaine bricks. In the afternoon of the same day that it landed, the plane tried to take off from the remote airstrip north of the capital. While trying to take off, however, the plane crashed. Investigators say local members of the syndicate rushed to help the pilot retrieve the drugs and lugged them deep into the jungle to hide them. When authorities reached the crash site, the plane was empty and the pilot unaccounted for. The search for the pilot and the drugs in the dense and remote terrain went on for days. The pilot, an Australian citizen, eventually went to Australia's consulate in Papua New Guinea seeking consular assistance. He was charged locally with illegal entry into the country. And finally, on Friday, the stash was found. 28 large bags stuffed with more than 500 kilos of cocaine. That's about 1,100 pounds. Although, and here is where conspiracy theories will go bananas, the find was originally said to be 750 kilos. In either case, it is the largest drug bust in the nation's history. It's worth an estimated $57 million. Australian authorities said that greed played a significant part in the syndicate's activities and think that the excessive weight of cocaine had an impact on the plane's ability to take off. Although the end of the plan was unexpectedly spectacular, it did not take Australian authorities completely by surprise. An investigation into the Melbourne-based mob-linked syndicate and its use of Papua New Guinea as a transit point for drugs had been underway for 2 years. And after the crash, investigators quickly moved on their suspects, making arrests and seizing assets. 5 people were arrested in Australia, charged with conspiring to import the load into the country and other charges. They face a maximum sentence of life in prison. One of those arrested, a 31-year-old, is charged with directing activities of a criminal syndicate and money laundering, suggesting he was at or near the top of the crime network. There was another man, also 31, arrested. Police say his job was to meet the plane when it arrived back in Australia and pack the cocaine into this clever hiding spot in the back of a heavy truck. A hole had been cut into a stack of drywall sheets to be covered by complete drywall sheets for its transit south to its final destination. Australian officials believe that the surreptitious flight was a response to COVID-19 travel restrictions interfering with the syndicate's normal smuggling routes, methods, or routines. Now, this is a developing story, and there are things I don't yet know, including specifics on the Italian mob connection. It's presumably connected to one of the Ndrangheta clans that have a long history in Australia. As we know, the Ndrangheta is the proper name of the Italian Mafia that originally formed in Italy's southern region of Calabria. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation traced the plane's ownership and found it was registered to a company whose only official had died, stabbed to death as it turned out, months before the plane was acquired. So while we know a lot about how this syndicate fell apart, I can't wait to learn more about how it came together. Thanks for watching.